Does unconditional love exist? What is the distinction between conditional love and unconditional love? If you've ever wanted to know what unconditional love looks like and feels like in a relationship, this is the video to pay attention to. Some people argue that unconditional love does not exist. I want to argue with you that it does exist, and not only that, I want to show you what it looks like and feels like in a relationship. And why does the word even fucking exist? Unconditional love, if it doesn't exist. But I understand where you're coming from, because certain conditions have to be met so that you begin to love somebody, right? Because some people, I understand you, advocate that you should love everybody all the time, everywhere, always. I'm strictly against that. I do not believe and think you should love everybody all the time, about any time, always. Some people say, some people of a specific kind, they say, love thy neighbor. I think that's heinous and insane. What they're actually essentially saying is that you should love everybody. You should love your community. That's fine, and I understand it's well-meaning, but love thy neighbor also tells you that you should love everybody no matter what. I'm strictly against that because you don't know your neighbor. Should you get to know your neighbor? Should you build a community? Is community important? Absolutely. I think community is incredibly important. Community is wonderful. Building a community, existing in a community, getting to know your community is different sorts of ways of how community will appear to you and how you will facilitate a community in your life. I digress. I believe you should have community. I think you should forge your community. You should create your community. But aside from that, love thy neighbor is saying that you should love everybody. You should have unconditional love for everybody. That's what it's saying. I'm against that because you don't know who your neighbor is. Your neighbor could be a rapist, a killer, someone who's unethical. They don't share your ethics. You don't have anything in common with them. You shouldn't love them. Do you understand? So I'm against that format of unconditional love. The unconditional love, which I'm saying, is firstly, you have to have love for that person. Love must exist, and there's many different ways that love can exist. You can love them for many different reasons, a combination of commonalities, of you share ethics, you share values, you like them, admire them, and adore them, and respect them. The combinations of these things for different people constitute love. Once you have that love for that person, you have a deep affection for them, whether it's sexual, whether it's non-sexual, whether it's professional. You have a deep affection for that person, you love them. If you add stipulations to that love, then it becomes conditional love. You understand? So, going back, here's the very first principles of it all. You have to have love for the person for unconditional love to occur. For unconditional love to occur, you have to have love for them first. For you to have love for them, you have to have certain conditions to exist. You like, admire, adore them for whatever reason you love them. You have to have that. Once you love them, you now can have conditional love or unconditional love. So what does that look like? Unconditional love is you love them for who they are. Love without any stipulations. You love them simply because they're the person that they are. If they weren't the person that they are, you wouldn't love them. You understand? I advocate for the love, where you love them for the person that they are. Not blanket love for everyone, every time, always. So you have to love them for the person that they are, then you have unconditional love for them. Only when you add conditions and stipulations and contracts to that love, will that love become conditional. What does that look like? Unfortunately and tragically, that's the kind of love that most people have, that you probably have. You only love them when certain conditions are in place, such as sexual exclusivity, such as you have to see me and only me. You have to love me and only me. You have to do certain things with me and only me. You have to live with me and only me. You can't see anybody else. You can't flirt with anybody else. You can't enjoy anything else with anybody else. Now, for different people, that'll be different things. For some people, you just look at somebody, constitutes jealousy for them. You're looking at somebody in a particular way. You don't love me. You talk to somebody in a very sensual way. That means you don't love me. These are conditions that people put into place that is aside from being the person that they are. So, going back to be very, very clear, I want you to be very clear, because words intrinsically have no meaning, and there are as many different definitions of love as there are people you ask. In other words, there is no a specific meaning for love. People have specific definitions for it. Because words intrinsically have no meaning, and people have to give words meaning. So, even of the most banal of words, even the most practical of words, even the most simple of words, people have different meaning to it. So you have to be very clear. And in my intention for you is to be very clear about what unconditional love and conditional love is, because I understand the position of somebody who says that there is no such thing as unconditional love, because everything has to have conditions in place for you to love them. I understand that. But the word exists, unconditional love, for this very reason, because once you get to love somebody for being the person that they are, you simply love them for the person that they are, because they're them. That is unconditional love. Conditional love is when you add stipulations and contracts and conditions to that love in order for you to persistently love them. That is what's called conditional love. Now, I am an advocate for unconditional love. Just so you know what it looks like in a relationship. Ron, how can you possibly have a relationship, you're probably asking, that if the person doesn't love me back? The condition. Or if the condition doesn't exist that they only have sex with me. Or if the condition doesn't exist that they can't flirt with anybody else. Or if the condition that doesn't exist that they don't have sex with somebody else. How can you possibly have that kind of relationship? That's insane. I'm going to talk about relationship in general in another video. Perhaps I'll talk about it tomorrow. But you love them, unconditional love. You love them for them. And you have people that you love in your life, that you love them specifically for them. Unconditional love does exist. Ask any mother. When a child tells her mother, oh no, you're going to have another kid? No, you have to divide that love. Now, I'm not going to have the same kind of love from you because now you have to divide it with me and my other sibling. And the mom says, no, silly, that's not how love works. Love works in this way. The more you love, the more you can love. The bigger your love gets. Just because you have somebody else you love, your sibling, doesn't mean that I have less love for you. I have the same love for you. Now I just have more love. That's how love works. Kind of like a flame doesn't lose its flame when you light another candle with it. When you put a candle and light another candle with it, the flame doesn't diminish the other flame. Now you have two flames. Now you can light more flames and more candles and more candles. Now you have a lot of flames. Just so you wrap your mind around, it's an additional thing rather than a subtractive thing. So, unconditional love is my wanting for my beloved's happiness intrinsically to my happiness. In other words, the same happiness I want for myself, I want that for my beloved. I love them whether or not I am involved. I want for them to pursue what they enjoy, what they like, what they desire, what actualizes them. Whether or not I'm involved. They like somebody, how can I help? They find somebody attractive and arousing and sexy. I would love to introduce you to how can I help? I want for them, because I love them, I want for them to pursue things that they like and enjoy. And just as an irony, the irony is people think that, hey, they're going to leave me. That's what constitutes jealousy. Jealousy is fear of loss. And then the rage from feeling that fear of loss. And they fear they're going to leave me if they have more choice. And then you think to yourself, you say, who the fuck am I to inhibit the person that I love the most from having choice? I want to increase their choice. I want them to become more actualized rather than less actualized and inhibited. So, going back, you have to have love for somebody first. And then you can have unconditional love, which is you're loving them for the person that they are. You're genuine wanting for their happiness, well-being, and gain, and actualization, whether or not you're involved. Or conditional love, which is you only love them for if certain conditions are stipulated. Hopefully that helps explain things. Comment below if you have any thoughts. Like this video if you like it. And share this video with other people. Let's make the world a better place for us. Bye-bye.